everyone. Happy almost New Year. Happy almost catalog launch and celebration launch. This is Janet Wakeland with Remarkably Created. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at something that I call out the window cards. I don't know about you, but I love looking out windows. I love seeing the world outside and what's there. And some of you may feel the same way. Some of you may love looking at, for example, the bird feeders and the birds that are eating. Some of you may love watching the dogs or the kids play in the yard. Some of you love having a water view or a mountain view. Some of you just love seeing the rainfall outside of your window or the beautiful sunshine. The seasons change. Some of us, travel so that we get those different experiences of seeing different things out our window. And sometimes we see things out of a car window or a plane window or a train window or things like that. So this template kind of has that concept in mind, although I did not model a train window or an airplane window, but that concept of what you see when you're looking out a window. So let's turn the camera around. And let's take a look at how easy this template can be in your stash of card layout ideas. So what I'm going to be using is products that come from Celebration and the new mini catalog. These Celebration and mini catalog go live on January 5th. So that's where the product comes from. As well as the product also comes from the annual catalog, the foam strips and some of the basic cardstock that I'm using. These catalogs are available in the US. If you do not have a demonstrator that you work with, let me know. But you can also view all of our products in my online store anytime. So, window cards. What you have here is two examples of window cards. In this case, we're looking out the window at beautiful mountains. Just a little snow touch to them kind of makes me think of Glacier National Park. And then in this case, we're looking out at the beach. So if you're a mountain person, give me a thumbs up. If you're a beach person, give me a smiley face. And of course, if you're both like me, just type in both. But they're created exactly the same. And what makes this type of card layout possible and fun are our layering rectangle dies. Many of you already own these. And there are 13 dies, the largest of which is almost the exact size of an A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So you've got all of these beautiful layering rectangles that are going to give you that opportunity to create this window look. In addition, the other product that makes this possible and easy are foam strips. It's nice when the window is raised up a little bit. Again, it gives you that depth. That feeling that there's something beyond as opposed to if it's laying flat. And these foam strips are in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. And I do have a pack that I'm going to be giving away today. So, for those of you that are engaging and commenting and liking and sharing and doing all of those wonderful things, some lucky person's going to get a set. These are 9 3/4. Let me double check, see if I remember this right. They might be a little different. They're 9 1/4 inch long. So I do cut mine down and I store them in a stamp case and it's labeled foam strips. The reason being is I'm not a scrapbooker, so I'm never going to use a piece that's this long. The only time I personally might use a piece that long is if I'm going to curve a long piece, for example, around a circle for a shaker card or something like that. These strips are actually very handy for shaker cards as well, too. So, the premise behind this is that you're going to decide the size window that you want. For me, it depends on what's going to be behind it, how much additional cardstock I want showing behind it. And you're going to take 2 dies and you're going to layer them. The other decision is how wide do you want your window frame to be? Do you want it to be really, really skinny? Or do you want a little bit of that paper showing that contrast? Once you have those 2 dies, what you're going to do is you're going to grab a piece of paper and you're going to put them down. And I thought I brought sticky tape with me, washi tape with me to the table, but oh, yep, here we go, right here in front of my face. And to hold them in place, you can use washi, You can use painter's tape. Now I have them stitched side up for right now, but you get the idea. And you can just put them over one corner and that will hold them in place as you run them through your cutting machine. After you run them through your cutting machine, what you're going to have is a couple of fun pieces. I love creating these windows because I'm left with quite a few fun pieces. So this piece here, I can just simply even up the edges, and this was the outline. So this was my scrap that I cut this rectangle from, okay? And we're gonna make a whole card start to finish in just a minute. But this is the piece of paper that I started with, the 1/4 size sheet. So by taking these two pieces out, I'll level this out, and now I'll have a frame to use. This center piece is all nice and stitched, so I'll be able to use that for tags and greetings and other layering. And now I have my frame. One thing that I personally did was this, I wrote template window on, and I keep this with my dies. I keep it in the folder with my dies. And that way when I want to make a window card, a card that looks like this, what I can do is I can grab this template and I can grab some designer papers, and I grabbed some for you just to start to inspire you. And I can lay it down. Of course, I can also, you know, do I want it going this way? Do I want it going this way, right? And so I can play with that template. Isn't that beautiful? Who doesn't love to see gardens and flowers outside your window, right? And so I can play with my template that I've created just to see what it is that I want and how it's going to work, what that image is going to be. So I encourage you to have that template and then take a walk through your designer papers. I'm also going to show you a stamped image one because we've got some great images that you would obviously could obviously look at outside of your window as well too, whether it's our beautiful pelican on its post. We've got some ships and things like that that you could see out your window. So there's some great stamped images that these could be as well, our rainy day. So let's put a card together. I have those images here on the bottom. And what I have for our project is I have a piece of the Playing in Rain designer paper, and it does have raindrops that are shiny on them. I love that. I have already die cut a frame here. And this frame was cut from basic gray paper. Okay, we do have 6x6 in all of the standard colors. And then I texturized it just a little bit. And that's another option for you with these, is like our painted gives you a look of plaster. And of course our wood grain gives you that look of wood. So you can play around with embossing the window opening as well too. So let's go ahead and let's grab our foam strips. And I'm going to show you a little trick that works for me. And just came through experience of putting these together and playing. It's not how I did it at first, but it's how I do it now, if that makes sense. And should make it a little easier for you. So these foam strips have adhesive on both sides, and they're very easily torn. You can very easily tear them. So I'm going to work on the side that, this is the side I want up. So on the reverse side, at the point here, I'm not going to go beyond. At the point here, I'm going to lay that foam strip down, and then I'm going to tear up. And I'll take this little piece here because you know we're going to reuse that piece at some point, right? And then I'll do the same thing over here on this side. Notice that I'm not crossing between this line right here. And let's take another piece. And you could cut them if you wanted them to, if you wanted to as well, but nobody's going to see this part, so I just tear it. Works for me. Then I don't get that extra gummy stuff on my scissors. So I've got those 4 pieces there. Now let's grab this piece of paper, and I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. I'm going to cut this down to 3 1/4 by 5. You could cut it larger if you wanted to. I just wanted it to be a little bit bigger than my frame. The reason being is I'm going to layer it one more time, and then a second time onto our card front. So I cut it down to 3 1/4 by 5. We'll set that aside. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my backing off of my window sheets. And I'm going to give you a couple of options here with this. So you don't even have to cut it down. Oops, one more. I'm trying to remember which way. I should usually try to go clockwise around so I remember what I had. So I can go ahead and put this on if I want a little bit of a border of that same rain paper peeking out. Now in this case, because I don't want that peeking out, but I wanted to give you options, I wanted you to see that you can do that if you'd like to. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this piece of paper behind it. And the easiest way is to take your scissors, hold them at an angle, and just cut. You'll bump up against that foam strip that's under there, and you won't worry about nicking it. You won't have to worry about your trimmer, your cutter, it fitting under any of it. So just cut it at an angle. I'm holding my scissors sideways. And now when I go to layer it, all you see is the rain that's outside that window. Let's put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this project so far. This piece of white is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we have that fun piece. And now let's embellish it just a little bit. Aren't these critters just so much fun? Oh my goodness gracious. I love these guys. Get his little puddle that he was cut out of, and we're gonna put that right there. He's got a little buddy jumping in the puddles with him. I love rain. We had a massive rainstorm here today. I mean, like it was what the old timers would call a gully washer, because that's absolutely what it was. And let's just keep adding a little bit more. Gotta get a puddle for him too. I'm gonna use a dimensional. We've got our umbrella, and that I had, yes, we have rain clouds. So we have our rain clouds. There's one, and we just need a little tiny piece for this rain cloud. Extra clouds we'll save for a future project. This is our smoky slate cardstock. It's cut 11 inches by 5 1/2. It's my favorite cut. One, because it's easier as a demonstrator for me to photograph, but second off, I think it stands on mantles and counters a lot nicer when it's like this. You see the front and it's not kind of hanging over and the message isn't exposed for the world to see. It's just a personal thing. So I like cutting my cards in that direction, and I do that quite frequently. And then we're gonna go ahead and put that down. And so now we're looking out our window at the kids playing in the rain. So how fun is that, right? So let's look at a couple more ideas to continue to inspire you. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing to do, because we want it to look like a window. We want it to look like a frame, right? Is I'm gonna take my snips and I'm just gonna come in here to the corners, and I'm gonna snip it on an angle. That's why we didn't extend our foam the whole way in. I got a little excited there for just a second. But we just wanna kind of create that look of the 4 pieces of wood coming together. So we've just snipped in, but that's why the adhesive doesn't extend all the way in. So let's put our samples up here and we're gonna go through them. So we have our kids playing in the rain, we have our mountains, we have our sea, we have sunrise. And I want you to see the difference. Let me put these two side by side. Can you see the difference? This is flat to the paper. This is raised up a little bit. That depth just really adds to it, just makes it really look like you're looking out. So I wanted you to see the difference, put those side by side. Another option for you, look at this one. Isn't this fun? Can you see the shine on this one? I really wanted it to look like a window. And so the very first thing that I did was I put window acetate. I adhered it to the frame piece. And then I put my designer paper on the back, and we have our sweet kitty who's in the new catalog, laying on the ledge getting some sun. So I'm sure some of you have kitties that do that. So again, just added that little extra piece of acetate just to give you another option with these. This is our On the Farm set that's debuting, and I used the celebration papers and the set. And we have family members that are farmers, and so it is fun to visit and to look out the windows and to see the farm critters and the chickens and things like that. So it is fun to see that. So that was the inspiration, and then the greeting from all of us. So we've got the pigs, the sheep, and the cow hanging out. So we've got that fun window look. And then one more. So sunrise or sunset. I love them both, to be honest. I don't have a favorite, whether it's morning or evening. I'm blessed to be a morning person, as well as somebody who likes to stay up to see the sunset. So you have that option. And then I mentioned that you can use stamps. So how much fun to be able to look out your window and see this country lane, right? Oh, I would love that view. That would just be amazing. And so in this case, I used the brick, because this just kind of reminded me of, you know, like an old English countryside or some European countryside. And so I thought of older brick buildings. And so I used the brick and just washed it, same brick here, but two different color paper so that it's two-toned, and then framed it. So again, lots of possibilities, guys, when you decide to start to create some what's out my window type cards. And I'll take pictures of these and get these ready to post them. And then the other thing is next week during our celebration time, so Sunday you'll see me again, starting on Sunday, January 1st. Every Sunday through celebration, I will be making a few cards with you online and showcasing samples made with celebration products. And then January 7th and 8th, I will be showcasing bundles and stamp sets that are in the spring catalog, but I'll be doing it. For example, we'll do some shaker cards, we'll do some slimline cards, we'll kind of theme the new products that way and showcase them off for you. So this here is a step one, make the window, but this is easily turned into a shaker card. And then my final bit of information, celebration starts on January 5th. For those purchasing a $50 or making a $50 order that includes the rectangle frames and the foam strips, you will receive all the paper supplies, the DSP that you need, the texturized cardstock that you need to make 5 cards. You will need the rectangle frames in order to complete the projects, but you will receive paper so that you have the backgrounds, you have the frames, you have the cardstock, you have the white for inside the cards. More details in my newsletter, so you're going to want to make sure that you're on my mailing list. And it's the first of many types of card kits like that that I will be offering in 2023 based on product that you order through Stampin' Up! Through me. So card kits, Sunday, come back for celebration ideas, and then plan to pop in and out next weekend, the 7th and 8th, as we have a whole lot of fun giving away goodies, looking at ideas that you guys requested, more new product, all kinds of good stuff. But in the meantime, have a very safe New Year's Eve and have fun welcoming in 2023. It's going to be a great year. Thanks, guys.